There is very disturbing atmosphere outside in the world. Lot of fear, whether it is of virus or violence. But Baba has given us the duty to always think positive, but also constantly maintain the thoughts of peace, of love, remembrance of Baba, so that we can give the support through the vibrations and touch the souls who are under the influence of negative energy to feel positive energy, to feel love for other human beings, and could become free from the greed of power. So, all of us collectively just keep two thoughts: love and peace in the world, love and peace everywhere. Bring the canopy of Bhavadrishti so that everyone can be under that canopy, feel protection, and they move towards their eternal values. So keep the whole world as a globe in front of you. Take drishti from Baba and create that canopy of Baba drishti for you to be under it and all the souls in the world.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar, January 13. Raazyukt, being Arjuna. Artistry, grace. Now we'll be listening from Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. Everyone looks well. We are very happy that in this month of January, we are experiencing closeness with Brahma Baba, understanding his part, and feeling fortunate to be in his company. One of the thought I had or I was reflecting on still the topic of renunciation, practicing all day. that I want to be just in the experience of being a point of light. And if I'm able to be in soul consciousness, and I don't find there is any pull of body or anything physical around me, it's a good result of renunciation. Because if anything is pulling the mind and intellect, so that means I have to take care of that, from where it is coming. Is it attachment? Is it insecurity? Is it whatever it is? That means I need to have renunciation of that. I need to be detached. And it could be same with the remembrance of Baba. How pure, loving, and consistent is my remembrance, where intellect was pulled. It might not be physical, impure, but also there is a time where even whatever are my duties and my action, I do it accurately, appropriately, but if when I'm in remembrance of Baba, my intellect shouldn't pull. And when I am in remembrance of Baba, as much I am in remembrance of Baba, my capacity of accuracy and managing time in such a way that I am able to accomplish everything in time. Like Madhuban, I love the timetable there. Bhog is offered at accurate time. Now we say, okay, whenever we are ready, we offer. But during Brahma Baba's time, they used to say, why Baba has to wait for the Bhog? That means if it's 12, it's 12, which you all have seen in Madhuban. Sometimes sitting in the courtyard, you find 5 to 10 or 10, 12. One sister is taking Bhog. So this accuracy in actions and feeling that I am able to accomplish whatever I have to do is very connected also with remembrance of Baba. So deep renunciation where the intellect is not pulled by anything and I could be just very pure direct connection of Baba is also part of renunciation. And of course, renunciation, wasteful thought is a big renunciation. Brahma Baba uh, used to get thoughts, but Brahma Baba never uh, was consumed by the thoughts of situations and different stages on the journey of different children, because everyone is at different stage. Maybe my expectations are different, but you have to be detached and help whatever cooperation is needed. Lovely. But also there had been lot use of word truth. So few aspects of that truth is the first one, the truth is that soul is immortal and body is mortal. And as soon as I know this truth, then it's very, very natural for me. I am soul immortal and body is mortal. So I'm detached from the body and I know there is a lifespan. I am immortal body, immortal soul playing part through this mortal body. It's the truth. If we take like each concept of knowledge is truth. No one can live forever in the body. There is a lifespan. So entry in the body is called birth. Leaving, exit from the body is called death. These are the names given. But we don't use those terms, right? Coming in the body, leaving in the body. Uh, Every house has entry and exit, no? So when we really take it as truth, there is power. And then our stage, like with Brahma Baba, we saw it was so natural for him. So to be natural in efforts really is where you have, oh, this is truth. This is true. And then understanding of that truth, knowing that this is true, naturally uh, I will naturally start making effort that I have to be detached, I have to be bodiless. And through way of renunciation with Brahma Baba, I'm happy to use everything for Baba's task and use it in worthwhile way. I always say that if we accumulate, someone else will use it, or even if they give for Baba's task, but why don't I create fortune? As I am in body, why don't I use body, wealth, my thoughts? I create my fortune. Many people say, oh, okay, but anyway, Baba will use it. But why I don't create fortune with my own hands? It's different, no? I will it, so Baba will get this much. Baba will, Ramesh Bhai used to tell us, but why don't you create your own fortune now? So understanding of truth. mm, So tomorrow when you read Murli or if you have thoughts, write down, oh, this is truth. Oh, that's true. So truth and realization of that truth will make our efforts very natural. It doesn't, I'm not leaving anything. I'm using everything to create my fortune, to serve the world. And when there is this truth within the self, and it will happen that nothing of yours will ever be mm, wasted or not used properly. According to drama, you will be able to do it. So renunciation definitely is a very, very important mm, practice or stage to become like Arjuna or number one. Mm. There is a very long story about Arjuna, the memorial which is created, and few memorials are very important. One time we will show you a little bit about Arjuna. But the first one is listening the knowledge of Gita. So are we, or do I feel, or I should see, look at tomorrow? Am I the Arjuna listening to God? Because God is speaking knowledge and Arjuna was the one who was listening, right? The way it is shown that it's a battlefield. Mm. And it's so beautiful. Even we know that this Gita doesn't have uh, total truth, but whatever is there, mm, the first chapter is so good about immortality of soul. Doesn't drown, no sword cannot cut it, immortal. Second is about Karma Yoga. I know each chapter very well because sometimes in some countries I used to give talk on that. But if I'm Arjuna, am I listening to God? Because he was talking to Arjuna. He was not giving lecture in battlefield like Arjuna was with him in the chariot as his charioteer and speaking to Arjuna, giving Srimad or directions. Sri Mad Bhagavad Gita means he was giving directions to Arjuna what to do. A point came, he said, no, how can I kill? How can they are all my uncles and gurus and all that in other army? And when Krishna said, but they are already dead. You are only becoming instrument to do as your religious duty because of their power for greed. So I am Arjuna listening to Gita from God. It's a very good experience actually when you will think. And Arjuna is considered to be victorious, number one. And I was thinking that our feeling these days are like we are in a Gurukul. You know what is Gurukul? Is ashram of a guru. So in olden days, I even remember in childhood, children will be sent to, these days they call them camps, religious camps. They do camping now for many physical activity, but at that time was training for life. A very, very, very beautiful atmosphere of Gurukul, where main concern was study. Right? So today, even if some have to work, but still whole energy is together. We feel we are in Gurukul studying together. So Arjuna also was sent to Gurukul to learn because he's shown, because they show, four castes in India like Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra. So it was like assignment of duties and one was warriors. That means they had to get training so that they can uh, protect or they can take care of country. So Arjuna was number one in shooting arrows. Bow and arrow was the main at that time. So he always never will say, uh, someone else will do or you do first. He will do it. Whatever direction Guru gave, and to take tests, gurus take a lot of tests to see what they have learned. Have they learned accurately? Are they ready now? So the focus and concentration of Arjuna was so good that he was asked to use through that the shot, the arrow, should go into the eye of the bird. Some say fish. So this pointedness of one's own uh, concentration or being point of light. So he was number one in that. So in our lives also, in midst of everything, he was seeing the pond, he was seeing the fish, he was seeing so many things. But when Guru said, "What you are seeing, I'm just seeing the eye," because short has to go there. It's a very, very beautiful way when you think about it. Is my concentration, attention, wherever it is required, whenever, in that stage of bodiless stage or soul conscious state, I am able to hit that target. It's a very subtle energy, more you will think about it. Quite a vast subject, but I have to just briefly tell you. And third is for being number one, self transformation. We always think about sanskars of others, but that's also my sanskar, right? I always look at others, but that's not a good sanskar too, right? I think this one sanskar should change, but what about my sanskar of looking at others should change? Anything, anytime happen, at least for me, I always say where I can improve. How can I be better? Even if I don't see whose mistake is that, never. Any situation arises, what is my role here? If I could have done better. Really, since beginning, I always, because I have to improve, right? I have to not say, oh, I said right, you felt bad. No. Or maybe I could have done different. Maybe I could have used more modest words. Like I always kind of correct myself. And I feel happy because I find that there is something I need to improve, make it better, more elevated, maybe. So every minute you keep looking at you, and it's very, very loving. I mean, I find that's one thing I like to maintain more and more. So Arjuna means I first. Self transformation brings world transformation. And of course, the final result for Arjuna, where God is telling him that you have become now completely free from attachment and embodiment of awareness. 18th chapter, Simirti Labda Nashtama. You have been able to recover full awareness of your own self. And when you are fully aware of your own self, you become detached. And really, detachment, as much self awareness grow, is so natural. So, free from all attachment and embodiment of remembrance, Samirti Saru, and naturally in remembrance of Baba, naturally thinking I am a soul. That was what finally he got his teaching or certificate. So there are many aspects, but these four I just thought to bring to your attention, and we all can tomorrow look at it like, truth and all that was connected with renunciation. but God is speaking to me. Stay focused, concentration, number one in that, self transformation, and fourth is victorious based on free from attachments and embodiment of awareness. But sometimes we will take time to uh, look into Arjuna's life and some of the memorials, plus look at our practical life also. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, dear Mohini Didi, and greetings, everyone.
Om Shanti.
I'm back again. It's fascinating, Mohini Didi, how you started the connection with renunciation. And I don't know if you realize that you probably read that sentence we're going to practice tomorrow, but it was exactly that connection: become separated from the body, remain silent, feel the truth. And this will be the sentence that we will connect with being Arjuna, which is very much connected also with what you were sharing about renunciation. So I find it comes very, very naturally. I don't know about Gurukul. I've never been to Gurukul, but I heard about Gita Pachala, and I feel we are in a Gita Pachala tonight. And I'm always happy to hear stories of the Gita. The aspects you raised on Arjuna, I think they are very inspiring. And so are we going to become like Brahma Baba or like Arjuna tonight? But I was wondering, what are the inner qualities underneath those four aspects? I always thought of Arjuna's story to be one of courage and faith. So what would be the virtues associated to Arjuna that will allow him to achieve those four aspects that you mentioned about study and doing it first, being victorious? What will be these virtues underneath?
I think that what God was trying to make him realize was his worthiness and his duty. And he was like giving up so many times. I can't do this, I can't do this, it's not possible. And one point he also says had doubt, who is telling me? And then God showed his this big form of different, Um, so I think basically as soon as he recognized his duty, his worthiness, his part, because it's not only qualities, no, like as soon as I recognize, but that's what my part is, or that's what then my duty is. And then worthiness has to be merged. That's what I could think of.
Mm. How do you
Because
connect?
I can think very general like courage and all that. But I thought there is something else also with courage. It's like that his responsibility, what it is, and the worthiness, as I said.
So how would you describe Brahma Baba being Arjuna? In which aspects of his life, or what will come to your mind in terms of memories of moments you felt this is really, I'm in front of Arjuna here?
I think that many aspects, of course, he understood he had to be instrument, and he has to set example. There will be many who will be following him. So doing everything accurately and still remaining on journey, doing everything accurately but still on spiritual journey. That kind of combination. So I think that Baba recognized his role, that this is what I have to be. And then, in practical life, the way he spoke, way he lived his lifestyle, and became, part of karma yoga, means in yajna as a karma yogi. And also, this all these qualities were very present in Brahma Baba because he was one listening to God, right? So while Murli, he will say, Baba says this, Baba says this. So it's just like as when Shiv Baba is speaking through him, he also is listening. And it's very interesting when Baba says, Shiv Baba doesn't give me private tuition. I also study with you, but he was number one in listening and following, in understanding, then implementing. I mean, when you think of the foundation of Yagya, principles of Yagya, the teaching systems, it was through Brahma Baba. No? So let's say he understood truth is purity. So now to implement that purity was not just, okay, we all live, celebrate, we all live pure. But how do we live as a family and maintain purity? How do we live as a community, live still in purity? And in practical, like Baba, okay, then brothers and sisters, we are souls. But what about bodies? No, then brother and sister, then maryadas. So he was listening the truth and how to bring that truth as reality. Sometimes I really think how he was able to capture and change that truth into reality by showing us, giving us direction, showing us how maryadas. There is always saying that when love is pure, doesn't have any attachment, it lasts very long, which we experience that when I think of my 62 years with Baba and the family. I really feel, I don't know how it would have worked in Lokik. It will because we feel we have to. But here is so natural. So as a Arjuna, what he heard, the truth, but how to change it in practical. So he was number one in everything. So he was Arjuna. And he wants us also to be Arjuna.
So that was my next question is, how do you relate to Arjuna yourself? And I'm curious, so from a sister's point of view, I know we're beyond brother and sister. I don't try to become Lakshmi really, and I think Brahma Baba was probably not visualizing Lakshmi as his future, but how does the sister relate to male figures also like Arjuna? And of course, I'm using a bit of humor, but to me, Arjuna relate very well to his complex personality, where he was in the process of trying to understand, being discouraged sometimes, having doubts. I relate to that part more than Brahma Baba probably did. But how do you relate to Arjuna? And do you think of yourself sometimes, I'm Arjuna? Or is there a female side of Arjuna, Arjuni?
No, I am Arjuna.
You are.
Because the meaning of Arjuna is distant person, it's like Arjun means origin. Origin is like you are this different person or you are a special person, whatever. So Arjuna figure is shown, male figure and all that. But I relate because when I'm listening to Murli, day one I went to Madhuban and I was sitting in second row and Baba said, come. He made me sit in the first row. And you will be surprised, I still get a chair and Avek Babdada comes second, first to second, because I heard Baba's come sit here. And I always felt that God is talking to me. Not only Murli, but God talks to me. So I'm listening to God all the time. So I am Arjuna. And I also, as I was mentioning, I really don't see that others have to change. I mean, I have pure feelings, but I always feel, what if I have to say something, how better I can say. In any situation, the role I played, could I have done better to help, instead of saying, blaming someone or looking at this one. So I am really Arjuna because it's not question of that I think, oh, I have to be number one, point of numbers. But I always feel that I have to do first what Baba says. I have to implement, I have to be example.
Nice to look at you as Arjuna, Mohini Didi. And Baba often mentions, yes, like you said, it's not number one in points. And Baba sometimes says it's about the first division. So what would be your recommendation to all of us who want to become also part of the number one division? What would be your suggestions on how we can go fast in becoming number one in that way?
We asked this question to her one time. She said, just in awareness, I have to be number one. Not, as I said, looking at numbers as 1, 2, 3, but I have to do. Think about it, take initiative. For everything, you do it. You do it. Anything, whether it is service, transformation, karma yoga. I think we all can do it. Everyone can do it. Eric, you can do also. And I don't know if you can, but I think if you look at your life, you must be doing too. No?
We are following in the footsteps. We're definitely following the footsteps. What I find new to me in having this opportunity to be with you every night and asking questions is the deeper fascination for truth in Brahma Baba, and how he could be totally uninfluenced by the outside world, so he can pursue his perception of truth in that connection with Shiv Baba. And for me, it has been inspiring me to say, yes, I want to go deeper into my relationship with Shiv Baba, with Brahma Baba next to me to see the example, but pursuing that truth in Shiv Baba. And when I think of how much intoxication Brahma Baba must have had, knowing he was Arjuna, he was Sri Krishna, he was Narayan, and yet being so humble, I think this is very inspiring to be having those big images. And I know many double foreigners sometimes say, oh, I don't care about, becoming a crowned deity or having gold palaces. But we all, of course, go beyond that. But seeing the whole depth of significance behind it is beautiful. And really, we appreciate the way you extract that truth to make it available for us. So I really appreciate that. And it's my inspiration. So yes, becoming number one with all my friends. And we are about 1,000 number one listening to you now who were little, or maybe there's little Arjunas and big Arjunas. So we all need to grow our little Arjuna to become bigger Arjunas.
Yeah, we are about 1,500 or so, no? YouTube and all different. Right. But I think that somewhere deeply, my feeling always had been that I want to be, and if I have this pure thought, Baba will help me. Wherever I need direction, signal, company. I mean, look at what we are provided today to be in family every evening. And our time is passing so nicely being together. It's Baba, no? Baba and drama. I don't think anyone else have planned or really want to plan, but it's in God's plan. And then it's in drama plan. And then we have to plan also with Baba and Rama. So always remember that I have to have this pure thought or courage, and God will work with me. Because I always tell Baba, such a high aim to serve the world and create peace in the world. Then Baba says, but I am with you. You are just the instrument. And then thought becomes very powerful. So anytime any comes, you have to remember who is telling me. Student has duty to learn, but teacher has more duty to see if students can do well. So that part we forget many times, and I remember that part a lot. So I'm very easy, light. Okay, I really honestly did it. Now Baba's part will begin. Now Baba will show me or help me or give me power or inspiration. And really that happens all the time. At least I feel it. So I request everyone, no, just have this pure thought, because why it is very pure thought? Because Baba gave us this thought that I have to be number one. It's not that I took this thought. I also would have loved to be sitting back and not thinking of it. But I have to fulfill Baba's desires. I have to become the master. He's asking us to be that. So we will become, and wherever we need help, he's there.
Last little question for you about Arjuna again is, do you see any significance in this aspect that Arjuna was battling, or at least not battling, but he was concerned about his family being in front of him and wondering what to do? Is there any relevance about Brahma Baba last test? And I'm not sure if I'm correct, but we heard that when he left the body, there was a tiny, tiny little thought to know if there was a pull from the family or not. And within a second, he went away from the pull from the Lokik family. Is there any connection for you in terms of that final exam that we have to demonstrate how detached we are from everything?
I mean, Lokik family, even now we have relationship with them, majority, but there is no attachment, right? There is more love and spiritual love and respect, but not attachment. But I'm thinking more of, even for yagya, you know this is what Dadis described, that not even he had thought, who will take care of yagya? It's a big thing that there was such a big yagya family. Who will take care of yagya? I don't think he had that thought. Whatever he had to do that morning, that day, he did everything, and not thinking about. So I don't think he had any attachment as attachment. See, when you are able to fulfill what you have to do, there is no attachment. I always feel attachment pulls of what you couldn't do. I could have done this better. But he was so good in his spiritual journey, his timetable, in seva, everything. So nothing really will pull him, no? So that's another thing we all have to say. It's not question of just spiritually I'm becoming perfect, but then whatever is my role, I have to play it properly. I like when someone said Ramesh Bhai was very sick and his body was almost not functioning. And in the end, there was some problems of finances, currencies, and he will give accurate answers before going. He had a lot of love for Yagya. So he did duty until end to advise as a consultant, which he was. But I don't see it as attachment. So I think each one of us, I always feel that if we accomplish the task, that's a big kind of contentment, that whatever God made me instrument for, I fulfilled it. And but somebody say I'm detached now, don't ask me anything, don't make me do anything. Look at Brahma Baba, many examples. And until last day, last minute, they did what they had to contribute or take care of the young. Yeah. So this is not attachment. One time Dadi Janki is saying to me, do you think we have attachment between? And then she said, we need to have this attachment because, in the sense we had really so much love for each other. But she said, where there is purity, there can't be attachment. And she keep reminding us, one time she was sitting with few of us and said, she was saying, Mohini Ben, you all have to do nothing. Just give love. Just be loving with everyone. Listen to everyone. So I said, you can't be too loving because people get attached, they get dependent. She said, can't be. Even if they are depending because of the purity, it's not attachment. It's like we need that kind of company or support or kind of, So I think that we all have some way attachment, right? Amongst all of us. But that's attachment is like, okay, we are co-travelers. Let's go together and we are on journey, common aim, common study. We are students of same university. So I think that's not a attachment. I don't call it attachment.
Well, thank you for giving us permission to have that pure loving attachment for you. Then we will enjoy that and stay in your company every night. And I hope we'll have a chance one night to go deeper into that stage, the last stage of Arjuna, free from attachment and the embodiment of awareness. Feels a nice stage to be in. So before I know, Sister Yatri has amazing thought again to bring to us for tomorrow. And I'll leave you the mic, Yatri Ben. And thank you again, Mohini Didi, and good night, everyone. So your time, Yatri Ben.
Thank you, Eric. And there's the first slide, and you'll be seeing this slide from now on every day until the 31st. And so each day will have the root sanskara. So you will see as we build it every day. And so it's like a reminder. This was the day. And then at the end, maybe we send you this so that you could remember which sanskara was taken up on what day. So could we have the root sanskara slide on, please? And I want to start this, and I want to address it to Sister Mohini. As I was looking at Arjuna, I came up with this, which I didn't know exists, but I don't know much about Bhakti. And I don't know if Sister Mohini has heard about it, but it was something that I got fascinated by. And I thought of starting with this quote, and I will try to take a short, because this is such a fascinating thing for me. I just got into it so much today. And this is the quote, Sister Mohini. "O Arjuna, I'm really impressed with your readiness," Drona said. Drona Acharya was Arjuna's teacher. "Thus, I'm going to give you the Brahmastra Astra." Now, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's Brahmastra, Brahmashira, one word, and the next word is Astra. So I got really fascinated by that. And it goes on to say, no other weapon is equal to this. It has the potential to destroy the universe, but you must never use it against a human foe, enemy. Because if you do so, the entire universe will burn. Arjuna, I thought, Arjuna, this is me now, Arjuna must have been taught the secret of Mansa Seva and became Raazyukt with this Brahmastra Astra with his folded hands. And of course, Arjuna was known for his humility, and he was also known as a karma yogi. So I just wanted to know if tomorrow you could take up this aspect of what Brahmastra Astra is all about. because as we're looking at the sanskara of being Arjuna for Brahma Baba, I chose these two words of artistry and grace, of Arjuna being the master archer. And of course, Brahma Baba always took the first step by saying Haji to Shiv Baba, to his teacher, to not just to the teacher, but to God. His soul conscious eye was always concentrated on the target of spiritual reality, and his actions held precision as they were always synchronized with God's Srimat. And he mastered Mansa Seva with artistry and grace. And so, to the question that Eric put to Sister Mohini, can a sister see herself as Arjuna? And then Sister Mohini broke it down. I thought that we received today an email from Sister Mohini asking us to do special meditation for the country at this very volatile, very important and sensitive time that we're going through. And then I thought about artistry and grace, that I, as Arjuna, Brahma Baba went through it, went with Shiv Baba. And if Brahma was the one who bestowed this Brahmastra, Astra, this weapon, it must have been Smriti Labda Nashta Moha. And that's where I put it with what Sister Mohini is saying about it. In order for Arjuna to have served at the level he served, he had to be gifted with some special powers in a very special way. And so I thought that I will become Arjuna, and I am on the battlefield trying to serve at the time that the country, or the world as well, but the country is going through such, I would call it, darkness. And I said, okay, as Arjuna, the master archer with grace and artistry, how would I serve the situation? And so the first thing I thought about is the perception of reality. How, after listening to Baba's Murli, like Arjuna, so Sismuni is asking us to look at, am I listening to Baba's Murli like Arjuna? So after listening to Baba's Murli like Arjuna, and Baba describing these scenes that will come and we will then have to serve, what is my perception of that outer reality after listening to Baba's Murli? The second is Arjuna always took action. Arjuna was a karma yogi. He was best known for that. And so what would be the precision in my action that I'm about to take? Am I understanding the Shrimat that Baba is giving me to follow after understanding that situation? And of course, the precision in Arjuna's action was when he was asked by his teacher, what are you seeing? He says, I'm seeing the eye of the bird. So am I seeing that which Baba wants me to see with that precision of soul consciousness before I actually do the action? And then at this time, when we can't serve there, we're not on the battlefield physically, but we're serving through Mansa Seva right now. So this Brahma Baba was a pioneer. He was the first one that did Mansa Seva. He tells us we took birth with the power of thought. And so as a pioneer of Mansa Seva, being on the field of an outer war, as it were, as an outer disturbance, how am I, like Brahma Baba, like being Arjuna, pioneering this path? And Sister Mohini was saying the concentration should be on self-transformation. Is my self-transformation such that I can actually do the Mansa Seva? And then finally, in order to become the Smriti Labda Nashtamoha, that Sister Mohini says we should, have I received this special weapon from God from Brahma Baba, I'm sure Baba would have given it to him, that allows me to be Smriti Labdha Nashtamoha. And what is this Brahmastra Astra according to Gyan? That is what I'm fascinated about. And so quickly, oh God, I'm thinking, so you could see how I'm into this. I suppose tomorrow I'm going to get, before Susmuni speaks on it, it's going to come to me with this daily quote of ours that Brahma Baba had, and it is, become separated from the body. So could we have the quote? Become separated from the body, remain silent, and feel the truth. So I'm hoping to feel the truth of Brahmastra Astra tomorrow. What was that was given to Arjuna, that Brahma gave to Arjuna, which means that Brahma gives to us, the little Arjunas. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vyakti Journey. So that name was Brahmastra. So I know it's a little difficult word, but it's very, whoever has read and listened the Mahabharata, yeah, it's very popular word. Okay, so we are on the second night class, the jewels of knowledge that touch the heart.
हेलो सदस्य चक्रधारी ब्रह्म कुलभूषणों को हनुमत वनवासियों की नमस्ते।
बच्चों को ये तो है नहीं कि हम बाबा के हैं। जो बच्चे हैं वो खाते हैं, पीते हैं, चलते हैं, उठते हैं, जैसे बाबा के हैं। खाते हैं बच्चे, बड़े घर में रहते हैं, तो भी उनको ये तो समझना चाहिए कि सब कुछ शिव बाबा का है। दिल से तो ये समझना चाहिए नहीं। जैसे अज्ञान काल में भक्ति मार्ग में भी बाप कहते हैं, तो बच्चे कहते तो कि सब कुछ ईश्वर का है ना बच्चे? तो ईश्वर का है तो जैसे हम तरसती है ना बच्चे? अभी वो तो ईश्वर नहीं है यहाँ, वो ऊपर में था बाप। अभी बाप नीचे आए हुए हैं, तो बाप खुद कहते हैं बच्चे ये तो तुम कहते थे सब कुछ ईश्वर का दिया हुआ है, तो ईश्वर का अगर दिया हुआ है तो ईश्वर का ही हुआ, तो तुम बच्चे बन गए तरसती। अगर विचार की बात करें, और वही बात बाबा अभी कहते हैं कि ऐसे ही समझो कि हम शिव बाबा के खजाने से खाते हैं, पहनते हैं, ये करते हैं। यदि अभी बाबा भी यही कहते हैं, नहीं बात कोई किसी में तो नहीं कहते हैं, और तो कहते हैं कहाँ अभी शिव बाबा मौजूद है और सभी कुछ उनका ही है, हम तरसती है तो सब बाबा का नहीं। तो देखो इससे ममता तो मिट जाते हैं। भक्ति मार्ग में भी तो कहते तो है नहीं, और किसको बच्चा पैदा हो तो बोले हाँ ईश्वर ने कृपा की है, बच्चा दिया है, उसी की ही मिल कहता है। आगे तो जाता था तो रोते थे, पीते थे। अभी तो बाप कहते हैं कि तुम तरसती हो, तुमको रोने की कोई दरकार नहीं, पीटने की कोई दरकार नहीं है। अभी अमानत समझ करके, तरसती समझ करके ऐसे ही समझो। घर में भी हम तो शिव के भंडारी से खाते हैं, तो सब कुछ शिव बाबा का है, तो हम शिव बाबा के भंडार से खाते हैं। फिर कभी कभी राय पूछते हैं बाबा से, तो बाबा हमारे से कोई भूल तो नहीं होगी, कोई विकर्म तो हमारे से नहीं हो जाते है तो सहज है ना बच्चे? क्योंकि बाप कहता है मैं तो दाता हूँ नहीं, मैं कोई सन्यासी वो दासी तो नहीं हूँ, कोई मुझे तो यहाँ घर घाट नहीं बनाना है, कोई फ्लैट ब्लैट में रहना है, ना कोई यहाँ बैठ करके जमींदारी बनानी है या मकान बनाने हैं, नहीं है ना बच्चे? और ये बच्चे भी जानते हैं, तो बराबर हमको भी तो जानना है सब। हम जा रहे हैं, वो तो जहाज सामने है। अभी तो बच्चों के लिए तो एक सेकंड की बात है, समझे नहीं? क्योंकि यहाँ सेकंड में जाते हैं, देखते हैं, तो जैसे कि बड़ा नजदीक है, और ज्ञान भी ऐसा कहते हैं बहुत नजदीक है। तो बाप बच्चे को बहुत ही सभी मत राय अच्छी देते हैं कि घर में बैठे भी ऐसे ही कहो कि हम तो शिवा के बंधन से कहते नहीं, सब कुछ बाबा का है नहीं, तो तुम्हारा उनमें आसक्ति नहीं रहेंगी। और फिर हम जानते हैं कि अभी हमको वापस जाना है, यहाँ तो कुछ छोड़ना ही नहीं है, कखपन सब जो कुछ भी है ये उनका है। तो गोया जैसे कि ममता मिट जाते हैं, ये युक्तियां बताते हैं। तो ऐसा करने से तुम वास बनने के अधिकारी बन जाते हो। और ये भी बच्चे जानते हैं कि हमको कोई बहुत खर्चा थोड़ी लगता है अपनी राजधानी स्थापन करने में, हा? कुछ भी नहीं, क्या हाँ ये थोड़ा वो कुछ ये घर बनाएगा, कोई मिलिट्री का खर्चा है क्या? नहीं, कोई तो वो बंदूक का खर्चा है कुछ? बच्चे देखो मिलिट्री का पता है कितना खर्चा होते हैं आजकल, हाफ होती है मिलिट्री खा जाती है, गवर्नमेंट की जो आमदनी होती है देखो अरबों होते हैं, अरबों होते हैं देखो, और तुम्हारा उसके एवज में कुछ भी खर्चा नहीं ऐसे कहेंगे, नाटक तो नहीं उनके भेद में। और हम देखो बाछी ले लेते हैं विश्व की। तो बच्चों को ये विचार सागर अंदर मथन करके ऐसे ऐसे अपन को आप ही बहलाना है, उसको कहा जाता है विचार सागर मथन कर अपन को बहलाना है। वो बाबा कितना रंजबाज है आज जो बिगड़ खर्चे, कुछ भी कोई न मिलिट्री न बात न चीत, और पांडव गवर्नमेंट बड़ी ईश्वरी गवर्नमेंट, और कितना युक्ति से बच्चों को विश्व का मालिक बनाने की राय देते हैं, मत देते हैं। वंडरफुल है ना बच्ची। अभी ये मैं सोचता हूँ कोई गीता पढ़ने या सुनने से थोड़ी आती है, नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, ये जरी भी नहीं। और यहाँ तो कितना तुम जान गए हो बच्चे, सारे सृष्टि का चक्र याद, और जिसको आधा कलर पर मनुष्य अभी तक तुम्हारे सामने बहुत तक खा दे तो कहाँ कहाँ जाते हैं, बनारस जाते हैं, बद्रीनाथ जाते हैं, फरार अब बन बैठे हुए जिसके पास जाते हैं। अब बद्रीनाथ भी कौन है, वहां भी तो शिव का लिंग होगा और क्या होगा। और वो बेचारे कितना ढका खाते रहते हैं। ये बाबा कितना गुप्तियां बैठे हुए बच्चों को, चलिए बाबा कहते हैं कुछ में को पहचानते हैं, और पहचान करके भी माया ऐसी है जो मुझाई करके फेंक जाती है ना। तो बच्चों को बड़ी खुशी होनी चाहिए बच्ची बाप के मिलने की, और सामने देखते हैं वो धक्का खाते हैं और बाप सब बैठे हैं। बाप दादा का मीठे मीठे से पूरे बच्चों के याद प्यार और
बनवारी रे जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। झूठी दुनिया झूठे बंधन, झूठी है ये माया। झूठी दुनिया झूठे बंधन, झूठी है ये माया। झूठा सांस का आना जाना, झूठी है ये काया। ओ यहाँ साचो तेरो नाम रे, बनवारी रे जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। बनवारी रे जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। Om Shanti. So Baba's Murli is so clear, and each and every Baba's words are like awakening inside light. So thank you, Baba. And now let's say good night and goodbye. And Trishti from so.
Today's experience is sitting in the history hall, Pandav Bhavan, attending night class with Brahma Baba. Really, really felt so good. And it was clear that when we are trustees, then why should there be attachment, right? Baba takes care, we are instrument, and we are just the trustees. So we become detached. And by thinking everything belongs to Baba, I am in remembrance also. That's what Arjuna attained, and we are attaining. So it's really, really beautiful experience. Thank to Avyakti Parivar for providing us such a beautiful night class for all of us. Om Shanti, and thank you everyone. Thanks Baba also. Om Shanti. Good night.